Hello, my name is Chika and I'm the editor of the Nigerian Eagle. Now we're here today with Dr. Packard, who is CEO of Bioclinetics, and his partner has discovered a cure for HIV. So we're here today to do a further deep dive in actually what the process was to discovering that, how it actually affects the antibodies, and what he actually plans to do with this. Hello, how are you?
Hi Chika, thank you. I'm glad to be with you today. And it's true, I didn't believe it at first, but I've looked into the research on this. The data is compelling. Dr. Joe, who I endearingly call him, is an immunologist in Texas. One of his patients had HIV and never got sick, never took medicine for it, never got sick, and never progressed to full-blown AIDS. But he had HIV for more than 10 years. And Dr. Joe simply asked him, like, what is the magic? What is it that you have that others don't have? I don't know, he said. So can I study your blood? To his patient, and his patient said, sure, go ahead. So he took some blood, studied it, found what it was, and it was an antibody. We call this a broadly neutralizing antibody. It wasn't created synthetically by man, it was created by God in this man, and it prevented him from getting sick from HIV. So we found that antibody and the cell that produced it, a B cell, these are white blood cells. We cloned the process. I didn't do it, I shouldn't say we. Dr. Joe did. But he's my partner and very dear friend. And but he cloned that, and now the antibody can be issued to other people as borrowed immunity. And it can protect them from the virus propagating. So in other words, if somebody has HIV, the spear that pokes through or that impales the human T cell and opens it up to dump in its poisonous DNA is blocked. It's kind of like a cork on a butcher knife, and it doesn't let it stick anymore. But it's really done through covalent bonds and electrical charges, and it simply does not allow the virus to open up the cell and put in the poison DNA. The virus usually likes to do that, and then the cell dies. But before it dies, the cell produces millions of other viruses, more HIV viruses. It stops that. So even if they already have HIV, it can handcuff the HIV virus and stop it from spreading. And it essentially cures the disease. It's 92% effective. It's been tested in vitro. It's been tested in primates, and the results confirm our theory. It's never been tested in humans, of course, except the original human that God tested it on, which was the human where we cloned it from, and it helped him. We have no reason to suspect it wouldn't help others. We don't anticipate there to be any side effects. We can't prove that yet, but that's why we need to do human studies. We don't anticipate any side effects. And I want to clarify, today's current medicine, which are called ARVs, or antiretroviral medicines, they do extend the lives of humans 10, 20, even 30 years, but they cause terrible side effects. Finally, they cause death. They cause liver and kidney disease. And essentially, the patients who take it eventually have to choose how they're going to die, from the disease or from the medicine. Also, little children who get that medicine, they get that medicine, they have to live their whole life dying. And 9 out of 10 people who have HIV never even have access to that medicine anyway. So if we can cure this, then big pharmaceutical won't like it, because they're not going to be making their billions of dollars anymore. But it's the right thing to do. Recently, I spent some time with the ambassador in Nigeria, or just today, and entertained the thought of maybe working with Nigeria on this, letting them also do some of the studies in that country there. And also working with Reno Omokri, This is a fascinating experience that I've had working with Reno, I will say, and I'm very enthusiastic to continue to work with him. I hope that this will facilitate somehow taking this Clone 3, as we call it, to allow Nigeria to also do the studies in their country and begin to start curing some people, we hope.
So what was the ambassador's reactions and thoughts to actually bringing a possible cure for HIV to Nigeria?
Well, first of all, Reno helped bring this about, and he saw. I'm so impressed with that man. He really has helped me change my naive image of Nigeria, which, you know, as a youngster growing up, I had this image. This has really been mind-blowing for me. I'm just very, very positive experience now. Thank you, Reno. And I've read his materials and I've seen his programs. As he brought this in and presented it to the ambassador was very quick to say, very positively, let's get you in touch with the Minister of Health in Nigeria, and I will help you get the visas and get going if we're able to do that. So I'm going to go back and visit with my partners and see if we can. And if not, we at least give some license or some way to allow them to do that. Okay, we want the world to experience the benefit from this. It's not a selfish thing. And so the answer to your question, the ambassador opened his arms and opened the doors and was very optimistic about trying to get in with the Minister of Health, who will help channel exactly what hospital we should go to. And we already have its scientific team that would be ready to go there. We need to be able to give them the green light and the resources to do that.
So would you actually start by retesting it on primates in Africa and then going into actually testing it on people? Or is your plans to now go to Nigeria and actually test it on people to see whether or not this could actually work?
Well, I don't know the answer to that question. That will depend on the Minister of Health and the NATAC there, the system there that's set forth. I hope they don't require us to retest it on rhesus macaque monkeys, because that's already been done. We got the evidence, and I don't think it's necessary to do it again.
Okay, and my last question is, and something that probably most people would like to know, now you said this would help the individual, so what happens to now if the individual who's infected had intercourse, or maybe, the main issue in Nigeria is mothers having HIV now passing it on to their children? How would that affect that second party that might or might not be infected?
That's a great question, Chika. I don't know the answer to it. For that reason, we need to do human studies. Here's what I expect, though. I believe that since the virus has been neutralized, if there's intercourse or maternal-fetal transmittance, that the recipient may receive the virus, but that virus would be handcuffed also, and that they would not get AIDS. I can't prove that, I hope that, and I believe that. But that's, the only way to test it would be testing it on humans that already do have it, so we can't inject new virus into people, but we can check to see if people that have relations with them or maternal-fetal, if it did spread. We just expect the answer to be no.
Thank you so much, and we're definitely going to follow up on this. This is an amazing breakthrough, and we definitely